Okay, hi. Welcome to more Haskell coding. And specifically today, I'm going to look at Advent of Code. I haven't done any of them this year, so this will be the first one. But let's just get started. It's always fun doing Advent of Code because it's a good way to feel stupid and like I don't know how to program anymore. But anyway, we'll give it a go. See how far we get. So, load of stuff. I had a quick scan of this earlier to work out what we need to do. But essentially, we pull in this list of ordering of pages. So this is saying page 53 must be printed after page 47, and 97 must be printed after 13. Stuff like that. And then a list of line separated manuals or print runs or something like that. I need to work out whether or not it's valid based on the rules above. So this is okay because 75, there's no rule that says 75 must come after, well, 75 is the first number, sorry. 47 is okay because it needs to come before 61 and various things, but there's nothing that says 75 must come before 47. Comes before it, but the other way around would be problematic. If you did 47 after 50, 47 after 75, that wouldn't be valid. Something like that. It's basically, you get this list, see if it violates any of these rules, where the rule says this page must be printed before this page. Is that right? XY means X must be printed before Y. Yeah, okay. So one of them doesn't work in here, I think. Which one doesn't work? 4 and 5 and 6. So let's look at this. It's nice and short. So 61, 13 and 29. What's the one that breaks? I'm not sure I can see why that's broken. Breaks the rule 2913, which is here. Okay, yeah. Okay, that's what I got to do. I will get started. I created a directory and I ran git init and I started VS Code. So that's my entire prep. Let's do something like cabal init libinux. So let's not do tests. Let's do GHC 2010 because I think the compiler's too old for 2024. And let's go for that. Let's run the cabal update in the background while we're doing that. Okay, so we should now have a main. There we go. It's not happy. Why does nothing ever work? We got a cabal file here. I think that should be all right. Let's find out. Cabal build. No. Did I mean 2021? I did mean 2021. Yes. Okay. Failed at the first hurdle. I've been playing with Helix, the editor, a bit this week. So all of my muscle memory is a bit ruined at the minute. But I'm not ready to use Helix for live coding because I don't know how to use that either. Okay, so building, and then we can say cabal run. There we go. We have an amazing setup now. So I could look at, I'm not going to structure this in any particular way. I'm just going to dump it all in main. Get rid of that. I'm going to just put everything in here. Okay, and I guess I need the input. So let me just grab this and we'll look at breaking this down a little bit. Just paste that in, and I went too far there. There we go. Okay, so this is what I'm going to be working with. In fact, no, don't do that. Control N, there we go, paste into there. And then we can save it as something like day one sample. Okay. So, doing a couple of things. One is that we need to parse these, and we're just going to split it on the pipe. I haven't written Haskell in a bit. It's going to really confuse me. So we'll have a set of rules, and each rule is a before and an after. Day 5 sample. Oh my god, good start. Thank you. Day 5 sample, thank you. It's day 1 for me, but yeah, it's day 5 with a challenge. Okay, so maybe something like, oops, data rule is equal to rule, and it's just a pair of ints, should be before and after. Deriving, no, I don't have this set up yet, so let's just derive equal and show, and let's derive ord, but I probably won't use it. Just might as well derive it, it's free. So we'll have something which takes one of these and creates a rule from it. So we could say something like parse rule is going to take a string, use a string, and produce as a rule. So what are we going to do? We're going to split it into 2 at the pipe symbol. And then that should just give us back a pair, hopefully, or a list. And then we'll read those things. So we want to go from string to pair of strings. And we want it in prelude or base. What do you see? Oh, where is it? Base. There we go. Missed it. Okay. Maybe not pair of strings. Going to do it to list of strings. Neat. Can we go this? There's a function. I've forgotten what it's called. If I flip it around, can we go split character to string to that? No. I'm sure there was a split. That's annoying. There is something called split, but not in base, I'm guessing. Split at? No. I could do it with a byte string, but that's not what I have. We do it in text. This is annoying. Okay, let's have a look at string. Actually, it'll be in list, I think, actually, rather than in string. So we can do list. We can extracting sublists. We can split at a particular point. Break. Break is what I want, I think. Okay. There. So in theory, if we call break not going to give me help for that. Oh, because the language was broken, that's right. Okay, so we're going to go break, and it's going to give us, I think it takes a function, a predicate, so we'll say, is it equal to that? What's upset about? Break, so a tuple, list of A's. Okay, it's going to take a character, not a string, but that's okay because it's a single split character. So we'll do that, and that should give us back, I don't want to reduce it yet. So it gives me back a list, a pair of strings, so before and after. And then I could say something like die map read on that. Not with importing it. Okay. I'm going to apply read to both halves of this. Can I say that? What's the type of this? It's so confusing. ABC, A prime, B prime, C prime. I don't think that's what I want. So this is this long form. Okay, so we got before and after. So I can say let before and after equal that in, and then a pair of read before, read after. Oh, it needs to be a rule. And it doesn't take a pair. But these need to be bracketed. Why don't I just not make it a pair? That would have been much easier. Okay, we'll get rid of arrow. I had to write it out by hand, it's terrible. Okay, so in theory, each line we should be able to do that. So if I say parts rule and then 4753. No pars. Well, that's annoying. It might be I might need to drop the pipe. So we just have a quick look and see what does break equal pipe give me back. It is indeed that problem. So is that slashing an italic pipe? Yeah. I don't know why it's showing up as italic in there. Because it's not here, right? It's not that it looks like, it's not an italic thing in general in the font, but it's being rendered in italic here. I don't know why. Okay, so if I say, I think I've just remembered how to use arrows. Let's see if I can do that. Can I say something like ID and then tail? No, it's not like that. Forget it. Let me just say read of tail of after. I really don't care. Go back to here, oops, and say parse rule of that. Okay, so at least we can pull these things out. So then we can say something like parse input. It's going to go from a string to, let's go to list of rules to start with. We can add some more stuff in onto that in a moment. In fact, let's start with a list of strings. So we can say if the first thing in the list is empty, so we have, I'm just thinking about the new line down here that separates stuff. If that's empty, then, you know, let's not do that because I need to keep track of the rules. So I'm missing a parameter. So let's say go empty set of rules, and then the string. Oh, hang on. Let's go S, and then lines of S. Or go is going to take a list of rules and a list of strings, and it's going to return a list of rules. So go of rules, and then we can do this match. So we can say we don't care what comes after that. So that's going to be equal to the rules we've built so far, and go rules and some x, some line is going to be parse rule of x appended onto, oh, I can unwind this differently. I don't need this. Appended onto go of x's. Then I can drop out this. And this. And then we need another case, which is empty list, and that's just going to be an empty list. This is also going to be an empty list. Okay. So we can say parse input, and we can just give it another one like 97 pipe 13, and then oops, and an empty line, and then some numbers like 97 12, something like that. Okay, and we parse the rules part of that. Okay. So what we can do is we could say, split this a bit, so parse lines from the input. So given a list of strings, I'm just going to basically extract this go thing. Given a list of strings and nothing else, it'll return the rules and the rest. Parse lines of, I can just grab these. So this is parse lines. Okay, so now what do we do? When we get to blank line, we stop. Do you know what? Actually, let's not do that. That's annoying. Let's split this list into two. So, given, let me just write it separately. So parse input string to list. This is going to return me a list of rules and a list of, I just call it a string, but it's going to be pages or print runs or whatever they're called, manuals when I get to there. So parse input is going to be break. And this time I'm going to say equals an empty string on lines of the input. So let's call this x's. And then we can say let rules and manuals equal that. And then we can say the first element here is going to be parse rules. Parsing the rules, we can just say map parse rule over rules, and then an empty list. I mean, just get rid of that for a second. I need to bracket this. Okay, so now when we say this, I should get the same answer. Pretty much. So I get my list of rules and then I get my list of manuals. So we need to parse manual. And this is going to be, it's going to take a list of strings. I'm going to turn a list of manuals. I need to define. So we can say new type manual is going to be unmanual, which is a list of string. Deriving equal show and ord. Okay. So each manual is not a list of strings, turn it back, it's a list of numbers. So all I want to do is split it into the individual words. And I want to map read, except not quite. So we map read over the words. Is that right? Actually give us back. Let's start with this. So words, given a string. Oh. Not quite. So this is given a list of strings. Every line in there, we want to let me write this in. I can reduce it in a second. So we want to call words on x's, but not quite. We want to map words over x's. Or fmap it, but couldn't match list of string amount. Okay, that's okay. So this gives us back a list of strings, and for each of those, I want to fmap read over that, and I want to wrap the whole thing in manual. Is that right? I don't think that reduction is right, which makes me think I've written it incorrectly. My error. Can match list of manuals, actual type manual. Ah, okay. So this isn't quite right. So we have a list of lines split up into the individual words, and for each of those list of words, I want to read it into an int, and then I want to call manual on result of that. Oh, this is really tricky. I'm going to stop trying to do it in one line. My brain can't do this. Right, so let ems is fmap words over x's in. So for each of these ems, I want to map read over ems hang on, ems now, it's a list of strings. List of strings. So we take each list of strings. Why can my brain not do this today? So we should end up with something like a list containing like 97 45. I can't remember what the numbers were, something like that. Okay, so this is what ems is. What I want to do is I want to map for each line in there. I want to map to manual on that, where to manual will be given a list of strings, and it's going to produce a single manual from there. So to manual, given some s. So we want to first of all map read over s, and this should now be a list of ints. Except it doesn't know that. It's now a list of b0s, and we want to apply manual to that. Okay, that was harder than it should have been. Oh, for goodness sake, if I just do this, I can move the other map to the outside. So this is now a single line. Okay, so now we can say let's do this. So let pages equal words of X's in. So now pages is what this string was. So here we should say manual of map read of pages. And here we can say map parse manual over lines, not lines, we call it manuals here. And this is now going to be a list of manuals. Okay, it's actually going to be the tail of this because we're going to drop off the empty line. Okay, that looks like it does it properly. I'm not sure it's worth having a type for manual. I might keep the type alias, but just set it's a list of int. And then I can just drop this constructor off. Okay, that's probably going to be a bit easier to work with. Do you know what? Who needs types? So I can just say rule is a pair of ints. Oh no, I'm going to use this. I'm going to use rule in a second, so maybe I'll leave it like that. Okay, so down here I can say interact, and I can interact, which needs a function goes from string to string. So I can just say part one goes from string to string. These are comma separated. Crap. Okay, I need to fix that. And part one can just be something like show part input for now. It'll do more than that in a second. Okay, it doesn't work. So my actual input is comma separated. So now we need something better than break. No. I really need my split. I need something like this, but for string. I don't think it exists because it's basically going to be I have a string and I have a character and I'm going to list a string to come back from it. Unintersperse, split, in GHC utils misc. Yeah, it looks like what I want. just call split. If I say split, which run was it? It's character and then string. So given that, and then given what do we have? We have 97 and 12. Let's go split. Where can I put this? Split that of manuals. Can I import this? No. Okay, let's copy it. So this was jar to string to list of strings, sorry. And I'm actually just going to go and copy their definition because they've written it better than I would. Shadowing, so let's go to shadowing. Okay, so now that works, unsurprisingly. So parse input needs to say parse manual, so we don't call words. So if we call split comma of x's, this gives us back a list of strings. And then I can just say map read over that. And then that should work. Let's go to that, make sure it really works. There we go. Okay, so if I go to one of my fishes and I can say cabal run pipe in day 5 sample. I don't care about the warnings. We have a bunch of rules and then we have a bunch of manuals. I hope I got the terminology right here. Okay, so now I can get rid of this because I know what I'm parsing now. Okay, and then I want to say filter that list to only pull out the valid ones. So valid is going to take a list of rules. This doesn't change ever. It's going to take a list of, it's going to take a manual, which is a list of integers, and then we want to walk left to right through that and say, has this appeared after something where we said it's not allowed to appear after it, where the rule precludes that? Because I think in the instructions it says they're not necessarily in order. Must be printed at some point before page Y, so it's not just like just before it. So did it have an example in here where it was a couple of pages? No, it's always immediate. That's quite annoying. But still we'll check it. Okay, so valid of an empty string. Oh, needs to return a boolean. Valid of the uncountable rules are if we have nothing left, this is true. Another case, if we have don't count the rules are, but we have a single entity in there, also true, nothing to compare it to. Now we have rules, and we have, oh, I want a couple more cases because I actually want x, y, and z's, which means I'll also have to write something for the special case where we have exactly x and y. So we'll say check x, y. And then this is going to be check x, y, and valid z's and rules. And check is going to need the rules as well. It's probably a more efficient way of doing this, but let's write it out inefficiently to start with and just see if it's good enough. So given a bunch of rules and what have we got here? We got 2 ints. So check, no rules left to check. We don't care what the input is. We're going to say this is true, so it doesn't violate any rules. Check. Okay, a rule with before and after. I need different brackets. Followed by some other rules and an x and a y is going to be, we really need a history when we check, we'll just check pairs to start with. So the rule says that x must come after, before must come before after, right? So what we're going to say here, if y is equal to before, let's do the negative case. So if x is before, no, it's the negative case, and x is equal to after. So thinking about the rules here, if it says 43 is after 53, and then we had a pair of numbers, let's say 53 and 47. Y is 47, x is 53. This rule says you can't have that. So we're going to say if y is before and x is after, then false, else true. Then false, else true is a good point. I'll let it rewrite it for me. Yep. And what's it say about here? So 2 has been given 1. That comma is irrelevant. So that, and check the remaining rules with x and y. Okay. So here we could say something like can I write? No, I'm gonna just write it out. I'm trying to think, can I parse it and then use it? But it's gonna be a bit awkward. So we can say something like, our rules are going to be a list of rule 4753. That's the only rule I'm going to have in there at the minute. So we can say check that with 4753 should be true. 47.5 should be true, but 53.47 should be false. Okay, I'm going to take a couple of these in, so put one at the start. 5 and 4 should still be false, but if I flip them around again, should be true. Okay, and then if I say valid 475347, this will be annoyingly wrong. Yeah, that's not right. Okay, so it's a sliding window, I think, that I need, not just check the first two and then check the third and fourth. So we should at least have that. Better, okay. But even the sliding window, I kind of feel like we need to check everything we've ever visited, not just those pairs. That is, so if we go into here, so we parse the input, we can do something like let rules manuals parse input in. First thing we're going to do is filter valid rules manuals. So let me just indent this bit. Say valid manuals VMs. Is that in show VMs? Could it match string to rule manual with actual type AP parse input? Here's the input. Okay. So does it pull out the valid things? First three, so 75, 97, 75. First three, 75, 97, 75, so 7597 should not appear in that list. 7597 does not appear. Yeah, this is going to trip me up. Other pages are allowed to in between them. Okay, so I need to rewrite this so that it actually remembers a little bit of history. So if I say this, it'll spot that it's false. But if I said 23 in the middle, it still violates it. So 47 must be printed before 53. and it hasn't spotted that. So I need to do it a little bit better. What I need to do is keep track of everything I've seen and say y is an element. No, before is an element of the things I've seen, and x is the after. No, sorry, y is the before, and the after is an element of these things that we've seen so far. Okay, so it's not an x and a y, it's a history and the current int. And here we want to say after is, where's that symbol gone? Oh, that's annoying. Come on, keyboard mapping, don't let me down. There we go. Element of x, but this is not really x, this is history. And this is history. Okay, so let's run a bit and we can say, if I can make this work, then we expect this to say false. Let me just stop the compiler from being broken. Oh no, that's not the problem. After an int. Oh, I forgot to rename this. That was what was going wrong. Okay, so that's not valid. But that is. Okay, we're getting there. So I'm going to say valid is equal to go no history. We're going to build it up. So let's look at rules, manual. I'll say go rules history and what's left in the manual in the order of pages. Where go. So now we have the rules in the same place. Then we have the history, but we don't care about it in this case. We do care about it in this case. This is no longer that special. Right, empty list is always true. Some of these special cases. X and X's and some history. Okay, so we will check our rules. What's the type of go? Go is set of rules, a set of ints, which is our history, an int, which is the current thing we're looking at. No, it's not. It's a manual at this point. And it's going to return a bool. That's what it is. Okay, so we're going to check the rules, and not list of X here, but the history against X. And if that's valid, if that passes, Then we're going to go valid again. No, we're not going to call valid again. We're going to call go. With the rules we got and the history, but the history will now have X pushed onto it because we've seen it. And the remaining things, which is the X's. Okay, it is correctly telling me that I don't need R's here because it doesn't change when we have it on the outside. So I can just get rid of this. And I don't need to pass it in here. I just have access to it. And I don't need to pass it in here. Okay, so we just say go with an empty history. So if we say verify, we would now expect this to be false. Valid, false, okay. But if this number changes, then it's true. Okay, that should be part one, I think. Let's have a look and see. Let me just check if it actually runs. Okay, we're not quite there yet because the instructions say for some reason you pull out the middle number. I presume it's always an odd number. And then you sum them up. And that's all I'm going to get done today. I think, and we'll see if it works. I'll probably stay until I get it working. So, middle, given some length of things, you can return a thing. So let mid be the length of x's divided by 2. So if this is 3 elements long, it should be 3 divided by 2, which I hope should come back as 1. In x's bang bang mid. Let's say div. Can't say div, impossible. So I say the middle of 1, 2, 3 should be 2, and then 4 and 5 should be that. And I'm going to assume that they're all an odd length, otherwise middle doesn't make sense. Okay, so it's not show VMs, but we want to say middles is map middle over VMs, and then we can just say show sum of middles. Is that right? Okay, so I should get 143. And I do. Okay, so if I get the input, it's probably going to go horribly wrong. So this is day 5. Oh, where did I put it? I put it in app. Move it out of app. Okay, 4609. I'm not confident this is going to work first time, but let's give it a go. 4609. Oh, I got a gold star. Hooray. I'm going to look at part 2 in case it's a really, really quick thing, but maybe not. For each of the incorrectly ordered updates, use the page ordering rules to put the page numbers in the right order. For anything incorrectly ordered, adding the correctly made with that. No, that's not going to be super quick to do. So I'm gonna call it a night at that point, and not try and do page 2. Because what you have to do, you need to find out where. I mean, what's the? Do you just swap them? I think you just swap them, but that's going to be a real pain to do in Haskell because I can't just swap elements in an array. So not going to be quick. The parsing is done. The parsing is done, but the swapping is going to be hard. I could make it really efficient. No, I'm not going to do it. It'll take me forever. Just rewrite another language. Yeah, it's fine. I got the parser. I'll just port it to something. I'm doing this. So here's the thing, right? What do we know at this point? We called LM history. No, I don't know where it is in that list, so that would be really hard. Okay, no, I'm not gonna attempt it now. It's gonna take me too long. Okay, maybe next time I'll either finish this off, or I'll probably just come to the next day and try part 1 of that and see how far I get. But yeah, cool. Thanks for watching along. I'm glad I had at least one start of this. I had a horrible feeling early on I wasn't going to get anywhere with it, but cool. Thank you for watching, and hopefully see you next time, and we'll do another day in Advent of Code, or the rest of this day. I'll see what I feel like. Cool. Thanks for watching. See you next time.